Welcome to another deep dive into the prehistoric world here on Fun Facts Online. Today, we are stripping away the Hollywood veneer of the Jurassic period. For over a century, the Jurassic has been the poster child of the Mesozoic era, often depicted as a golden age of stability where long-necked sauropods shook the earth and Allosaurus stalked across endless fern prairies. But if you think we have found all the terrible lizards worth finding, you need to think again. The years 2024 and 2025 have unleashed a torrent of paleontological discoveries that are not just adding new names to the roster, but fundamentally rewriting the biography of the reptile family tree. From the mist-shrouded Isle of Skye in Scotland to the dusty drawers of German museums, new technology and persistent fieldwork are revealing a Jurassic world far more complex, experimental, and bizarre than we ever imagined. These are not just new bones. They are the missing links that close evolutionary gaps we have puzzled over for centuries. Let us begin with the rulers of the sky. For decades, paleontologists faced a frustrating void in the fossil record of pterosaurs, the first vertebrates to conquer the air. We had the small, long-tailed primitive forms from the Triassic and early Jurassic. And then, suddenly, the fossil record jumps to the massive, short-tailed pterodactyloids of the late Jurassic and Cretaceous. The middle ground, effectively the evolutionary teenage years of these flying reptiles, was completely missing. That silence was finally broken in 2024 with the discovery of Skiphosoura bavarica in Germany. Unveiled from the limestone of Bavaria, Skiphosoura is being hailed as the Rosetta Stone of pterosaur evolution. It is the perfect transitional fossil. Physically, it is a mashup of the old and the new. It possesses the substantial head and neck of the later giants, but retains the longer tail and wrist structure of its smaller ancestors. This creature proves that pterosaurs did not just jump to giant sizes overnight. Instead, they evolved through a modular process, changing their heads and necks for better feeding capabilities before their bodies grew to gargantuan proportions. This concept of modular evolution is crucial because it shows nature tinkering with specific body parts to solve immediate survival problems, rather than a linear progression toward a specific end goal. Meanwhile, on the windswept Isle of Skye in Scotland, another flyer emerged from the rock named Scioptera evansae. Dating back to the Middle Jurassic, a notoriously empty chapter in the fossil record, Scioptera belongs to the Darwinoptera clade. Its discovery pushes the origin of these advanced pterosaurs back by millions of years, proving that the skies were full of diverse, specialized flyers much earlier than previously thought. It suggests that while dinosaurs were conquering the land, a rapid and fierce evolutionary arms race was already taking place above their heads, with aerial predators refining their flight mechanics long before birds entered the picture. While pterosaurs were refining flight, the Jurassic oceans were a cauldron of reptilian experimentation. In September 2025, researchers stunned the scientific community with the description of Eurhinosaurus mistelgauensis, a marine reptile that looked like a nightmare version of a modern swordfish. Found in the Mistelgau clay pit in Germany, this ichthyosaur had an upper jaw that was drastically longer than its lower jaw, creating a terrifying tooth-lined sword. Unlike its dolphin-like cousins that are famous for their speed and agility, Eurhinosaurus likely used this weapon to slash at shoals of fish or dig for prey on the sea floor. What makes this find so significant is its age. It lived 182 million years ago in the early Jurassic, showing that ichthyosaurs evolved extreme specialized toolkits remarkably early in their reign. This counters the idea that early marine reptiles were generalized hunters. Instead, they were already partitioning the ocean into very specific niches. But not all new discoveries come from fresh digs. In August 2025, a dusty fossil sitting in a museum for 47 years was re-examined and identified as a completely new species of plesiosaur named Plesionectes longicolum. This long-necked hunter reveals that the early Jurassic seas were not dominated by just one or two types of marine reptiles, but were teeming with a complex hierarchy of predators, each adapted to a specific niche. It serves as a stark reminder that our museums are still full of secrets waiting to be unlocked by modern eyes and updated anatomical understanding. Moving from the giants of the sea to the underdogs of the forest floor, perhaps the most scientifically disruptive discovery of late 2025 did not come from a giant dinosaur, but from a creature barely the length of your forearm. On the Isle of Skye, scientists identified Breugnathair elgolensis, dubbed the false snake of Elgol. For years we have debated how snakes evolved. Did they lose their legs in the ocean to swim better, or in burrows to dig better? Breugnathair throws a wrench in the works. Living 167 million years ago, this creature had the body and fully formed limbs of a lizard, but its mouth was a dead ringer for a modern python, complete with backward curving teeth designed to hook and hold struggling prey. Breugnathair suggests that the snake toolkit, specifically the specialized jaws for swallowing large prey, evolved before the animals lost their legs. It wasn't a slithering body that made a snake a snake. It was the terrifying ability to eat things bigger than its own head. This lizard was likely a ground-level terror for the smaller creatures of the Jurassic undergrowth, representing a ghost lineage that hints at how modern squamates rose to power. Of course, we cannot talk about the Jurassic without the sauropods. In late 2025, the famous Morrison Formation in the USA, the graveyard that gave us Brontosaurus and Diplodocus, yielded yet another surprise. A skull that had been mislabeled as Diplodocus for over a century was analyzed with high-resolution CT scanning and realized to be a distinct species named Athenar bermani. This wasn't just a case of splitting hairs. Athenar had a brain case and sensory anatomy different from its cousins, suggesting it processed its environment differently. It implies that the late Jurassic ecosystem was even more crowded than we thought, with multiple species of 50-ton titans coexisting by exploiting slightly different food sources or behaviors, much like different species of antelope coexist on the Serengeti today. This changes our view of sauropods, from generic browsing machines to highly specialized animals with distinct sensory landscapes. Finally, a fascinating study published in late 2025 turned our attention to Anchiornis huxleyi, a small, bird-like dinosaur from late Jurassic China. We have known Anchiornis had feathers, but the debate has raged over whether it could fly. New analysis of feather preservation patterns revealed a molting strategy similar to modern flightless birds. Unlike flying birds, which replace flight feathers sequentially to stay airborne, Anchiornis appears to have shed them in a way that would have grounded it completely. This confirms that feathers likely evolved for insulation or display first, and the mechanics of flight were a secondary, happy accident that only some lineages mastered. It paints a picture of a Jurassic forest floor, inhabited by fluffy, colorful bird-like dinosaurs that were very much running, not flying. These discoveries from 2024 and 2025 share a common theme: complexity. The Jurassic was not a static world of simple giants. It was a laboratory of rapid evolution. Pterosaurs were experimenting with modular body plans to bridge the gap to gigantism. Ichthyosaurs were mimicking swordfish millions of years before swordfish existed. Lizards were developing snake-like weapons while keeping their legs. And sauropods were partitioning their environment with nuance we are only just beginning to understand. As we chip away the stone and scan the bones with 21st century tech, the Jurassic Park of our imagination is being replaced by something far more vibrant, strange, and real. The secrets of the Jurassic are far from exhausted. In fact, we are just scratching the surface.